Okay, hello, hello. It's been a while since I streamed. Let's see if the stream is going to be going well. Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of painting, doing painting a lot of the Star Wars Legion stuff. Finished off all the finished off all my snowtroopers and snowtroopers, stormtroopers, and scout troopers. I didn't stream that because they were kind of there's not much I was doing. It was mostly just painting the white. But here's a interesting one. Here's the ATRT. I think I did a good job on this. Is this the one I'm selling? Yeah. So I have the other, like all the painted stormtroopers and all that. I'm selling them as part of a set, just so I can buy the new stormtroopers, like the Empire starter box. Let's see, where's there it is, users and chat. So yeah, I picked up the new Rebels, the new Rebel box, and I'm really liking them, the new minis. They're a much higher quality than the hard, no, the soft plastic Rebels, which is nice. See, and like the sprue is very easy to just navigate because all of so this top layer or the top row, that's all for one model. So it's the top row, the middle row, and then so D will go down here. Yeah. And then E will go up in around here. Yeah, so the torso is in two pieces. Legs, two pieces. Then there's the backpack and then the arms. I've built all but four rebel troops, just so I can stream the building of the last group. Oh, I should put those extra weapons back. The only downside to these new rebels is there's not as much variation in the like each mini. All of the new troops will have like the basic jacket and backpack, and a box backpack. They all have like this. They're more uniformed than what rebels usually are. See, I don't need that for now. Just gotta move around. Should turn on some music also. It's gonna take a little bit to figure out what the correct volume is, because I did change the volume on iTunes just so it wasn't too loud for me. Now before I shave down these nubs, I usually put the two pieces together, just so that if there's a nub near an edge, I don't accidentally shave down one side a bit too much. So yeah, once this is dry, I'll just go and shave this down, and then it'll be uniform after I sand it. The legs don't have anything that... The legs don't have any connecting pieces like that, so I can just get rid of all the nubs. Yeah, what else have I done since I last streamed? I watched Project Hail Mary. That was a very good movie. Mall Shadow Lord was good. Me and my friends tried playing the No More Room in Hell free weekend. Sadly, my computer could not run it. I was running out of RAM. And I almost extracted, but it freaking crashed. So it was a fun game though. Like, I actually did enjoy it. Because it was more survival than other zombie games. Okay, this is more. Let's see. Okay, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Volume seems good. If it seems loud to anyone, just let me know. My local game store got in the special edition Echo-based Defenders and what is it called? The Blizzard Force box. So once the first edition Stormtroopers sell, I'm probably gonna pick up the Blizzard Force. I guess it depends on, and maybe the other boxes, depending on how much it sells for. So my friend and I have been doing more missions in Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. I think we're about halfway. that's still a really good game, and I'm hoping that once we finish that, we can get a bigger group going for regular Jaws of the Lion. Tried Terra Mystica, which is more of like a, I don't know how to describe it, like a civilization building. You're trying to you're building, you're setting up buildings and trying to terraform land into your preferred areas, while also trying to sort of do a little bit better than your opponents who are doing the same. And if you're close together, it'll make it easier for building the trade post. It's easier to build the trade posts near other players, but the other players could mess up your expansions, your territory expansion. So I think it would be better with like trying to get the max amount of people that can play. Because we played with 3, and it took us a while to actually learn, because the rule book is very it's like hard to digest. Feels like it's just constant rules without actually any examples. But once we got through it and actually got into the game, it got very much more simpler. And we actually got into it. I finally played a couple games of Infinity, but it was just for the starter box, which is the N3 rules. So the people I was playing with knew more about the N5 rules, but the starter box has more simplified rules just to actually get people into it. So we played that and enjoyed it. Now I'm excited to start trying to paint up my Infinity collection. Because I think I'm going with Aleph, which is like the cyborgs and androids, and it's mostly because one of their bigger units just looks like a Tachikoma from Ghost in the Shell. And then there's another mini, which is called the Beastmaster with Tachyon bow or something. But there's no bow on the miniature. It's a girl with a samurai sword and a big robot arm. So it's kind of funny, but it's such a nice mini. It just makes no sense. Okay, so with the last part here with his right arm, or with the model's right arm, I try to put just a little bit of glue in one side, because I want to be able, after priming, I want to be able to remove this arm. So I don't put glue on that. So now that they're posed correctly, that should dry on one part and I can pull it off. Okay, where are the heads? So there's essentially 4 different type of heads that come with this. There's the rebel, there's the rebel humans. There's 3 female and 3 male. But they don't really have, they're not like, they're just the same face, which kind of sucks. There's a lot of Twi'lek heads. I think there's 4. There's 1 female, 2 males, and then where is it? Because there's the males here with the weird bulbs on their head. Then there's these ones. I don't know, like, I don't ever remember. Maybe it's just depending on age. Once males get older, they get the weird bulbs on their head. Or it's just different, like, subspecies of Twi'lek. Then there's the Duros heads, which I used all of. So here's the Duros heads. They're pretty good. See? I like those heads. Let's see, is this the female? Yeah, so here's the female Twi'lek heads. Did I use all of the... Okay, no, there's still... Here's the male human head. I think that's all the heads that are... Oh, no, there's just a bunch under here. Okay, there is one Duros I didn't use. And then there's the Mon Calamari heads. Which I do like the heads, but the Mon Calamari are supposed to have fins. But all of the new rebels have... Let's see, I should... Because... Let's see, right here. So with the old soft plastic, they have these, like, large arms. That's what the Mon Calamari hands are. They have the arms with the webbed fingers. But the new rebel troops don't have any of those arms. So using the Mon Calamari heads doesn't actually make sense. They are fine though. I do like the heads. I just don't want to use them because they don't have their fins. Where's the bases? There they are. Also, when attaching the body to the base, you want to use super glue because I need to sand that. Yeah, you want to use super glue because I think the bases are still at a different plastic. They don't melt when you use the Tamiya glue. I think he's a bit off to the side. Yeah, he's not centered. Okay. I think this is the one where the pose is kind of odd. Just like the way it's running. The way they're running. It's just an odd pose to me. Let's use a male Twi'lek. Yeah, it doesn't take too much to build. Move Jyn Erso and Andor out of the way a bit. Don't need super glue getting everywhere. Yeah, building these rebel troops seems like it would take a bit. Not really. Each piece usually only has, I think only, yeah, each piece only usually has two connecting points to the sprue. And none of them are really in bad spots. You know what I didn't do? I didn't clean up the gun for the one I just built. Like, it's one connection is under the ammo clip, the ammo magazine. And then the other's on the sights, I guess? I don't know what this would be. I'm wondering if it's on the connection points at the arm. I'll deal with that later. else? With a couple days ago, the Conan Exiles, the survival game, got a update that changed everything to Unreal Engine 5. So I'm gonna try get back into that. Been playing some Guild Wars 2. Playing Guild Wars 1. Yeah, just playing a bunch of different games. I do want to like go and play Armored Core, because I have it, I just haven't turned it on for a while. I didn't clean off the nubs for the gun. Okay. Yeah, and again, just a little bit of the plastic glue just so I can remove this arm later for when I'm painting, so that I can go and paint into the inside the chest area. A little bit to the side. Okay. Let's use a human head. The human heads come in two parts, the helmet and then the face. So the face is only connected with one sprue part, and that's over down at the base, so that's not good. You can pretty much just, once you clean it up, you don't have to sand it, it's going to be hidden. The parts onto the helmet are on the side of this ring. So it's on a flat surface, so just sanding it down will hide it. So there is a thing I tried to do. So I did try to use Warhammer heads, but they were ever so slightly smaller, which sucked because they were so close. Because then you can use the different helmets, maybe use some of the heads for helmeted heads, just to like, oh, this is a different alien. But they were just slightly too small, and then it made it look weird. Maybe I'll... oh, shit. So I had this Royal Guard off to the side, and you could see I broke his staff. And I had it glued... oh, is that it? No. I just hit the thing and it flicked off somewhere. Oh, I see it. Okay. If I ever redo another set of these guys, I think I'm gonna cut it here and then up here, and then just get a needle or something that's a bit tougher, and then I don't have to worry about it. Okay. Where did that torso half go? Oh, there it is. Oh, I do have... I think these are the old Warhammer heads, or the old Imperial Guard heads. Okay. When looking at stuff for Star Wars Legion, I didn't, and like just for like all their cards and that, or the rules for recon for the 600 point recon lists. I did not know that all of their like all the rules were just print and play, because they have PDFs of all the rules, all of the stats for all the units, all of their command cards, which is pretty cool. Like, everything you just download, which is very nice. So I can go, at some point I need to go and download all the cards. Well, I think I need to download specific cards for the unit, the first edition units that I currently still have, that I'm keeping. Like the Snowspeeder. So I was painting up a little bit of the Snowspeeder, but I haven't finished it. What else do I have? The ATRT, those Royal Guards. You know what? Where's the... Maybe the older Imperial Guard heads... Oh yeah, the older Imperial Guard heads would fit because they're roughly the same size. Because the new Imperial Guard is a bit more... They're starting to move away from the heroic scale. Yeah, so they have a smaller head, smaller hands, trying to go more to a more realistic scale. Am I stupid? Oh, I am. Shit. It's the other side. Slightly to the side. No. Okay, I need to put more glue on it. Let's do a bit of cleanup on this Imperial Guard tank commander head. Doesn't have a ball joint, so it's going to be a little bit harder to put in, but do I have blue tack anywhere here? No. No, I don't. But I actually think this head is the correct scale. I'll go grab my my bits box. I'll be right back. Yeah, okay, this is my Imperial Guard bits box. Yeah, so there's the heads. So yeah. There's the size difference. Like if the Imperial Guards were slightly bigger, I would probably use those heads instead of, with some of them instead of these rebels. Like, their heads just look a little bit too small. And they're so close. Because these are just better quality sculpts. Okay, maybe the Vox, maybe like the really old Vox one doesn't really work. What I did actually think of using, where is it, what was that head? Was one of these. I think it's the Navy Breacher heads. Because it kind of looks a little bit alien. There was one where I filed off the Imperial Aquila. Yeah, those ones don't work. Is this? I'll just stick with. I'll use this one as a. So yeah, it sort of works. Again, it's just slightly too small for how the scale of this game is. And then I tried Space Marine heads, but those ones were too big. Yeah, Sister of the Battle ones don't work because instead of having a small ball joint, it's a big ball joint. So they don't really fit into the socket. Yeah. The Sisters of Silence. Again, I think it's just the scale issue. I think that issue can be ignored. But I kind of like having the scales correctly. To me, it would look too different. It would look too weird. Space Marine heads are slightly too big, or at least the ball joint is, so they can't fit into the socket. Like, I just wish there was a bit more variance with the heads. Because these two female heads are exactly the same. And the same thing with the male heads. The first edition, like once I finished building this, I'll start actually fully comparing. I'll bring out my first edition's Rebel troops. But they have more variation with the heads. The only problem is they're like single sculpts. You can't really customize them. What you probably can do is try to cut off the heads of the bodies from the first edition and try to stick them onto the second edition stuff. Oh, we got a... 1 second, I got a bot in the chat. Morning, no, ban. There we go. We got a view seller bot. Also, I noticed today that there's going to be a new Star Fox game. When I first saw the trailer, I'm like, man, this looks too weird. This is probably fake. Because they're trying to go a bit more like realistic look to them, or at least their puppet look from way back in the NES era. So when I was watching it, well, I didn't watch it at first because like, this is probably just a joke somebody made. But then I found out it's an actual, like it's actually happening, so I watched it. They look like their puppet their puppet looks. And I don't know, it looks weird to me. I kind of liked how they looked in Star Fox Zero. But since I don't have a Switch 2, I'm not going to be playing it. Because I do not want to have a Switch 2. I still have so much stuff to paint before I can actually start painting these rebels. Because I want to get the stuff that I'm selling for the rebels painted so I can sell them. Then, from learning after learning a bunch of painting stuff while painting those, then I can work on these models. Hopefully do a very good job. Hello everyone who joined. I'm just finishing up the last rebel troop. They're much higher quality models than their first edition counterparts, but they're kind of lacking in customization or difference in the heads. Because each rebel body can have multiple different alien heads. It's just that they're all pretty much the same head. Oh shit, wrong paint, wrong glue. Looks like you rotated a bit. Okay. So I use my last human rebel troop head. I have a bunch of Duros, I have a bunch of Twi'leks. Yeah, I think we'll just make it a human. Okay. Now I can grab the others, all of the first edition stuff, and start comparing. I'll also grab a Sergeant for the so here's the different poses for the regular blaster rifles. And then the two poses for their heavy weapons. The heads are fully swappable with other alien heads, but some of them don't look as good. No. Nope. There we go. Okay, so the Sergeant was probably the most changed. He doesn't have a long coat anymore. Oh yeah, I should grab the new commandos because that's actually pretty important to the comparison. So I can see why they changed the Sergeant. Like with the originals, the rebel troops had a lot of variation in their uniform. So the one in the middle is wearing a full jumpsuit. The sergeant wears a long coat. And then this guy just wears like is pretty much the same outfit as these new guys. The Duros here wears a sort of different type of jacket and different pants that have patches on the knees. I think I have a better painted Duros. Well, one that I like better. And it also helps, it'll be easier to see the differences. So yeah. Just a bit. And this one has a big jacket. So there's a lot more variation with these older ones. Also, this guy, this heavy weapon, doesn't exist in the Rebel Squad anymore. It's exchanged with this. But in the rules, the look, the actual heavy weapon model doesn't matter. It just pretty much shows what the heavy weapon, that it's a heavy weapon character. You can use any heavy weapon model for any heavy weapon. So yeah, and like if you look at the backpacks of the old ones, some of them have the military backpack, whereas some have these boxes. But with the new rebels, all of them have the box backpack. And I think they're trying to make less variation because this is the new Rebel Commando Sergeant. And he kinda looks familiar. So now what they did was they took away all of the backpacks from the Rebel squad and gave it only to the Rebel commandos. So even though this guy has the same jacket as the Rebel troops, he has a bandolier and the backpack, the military backpack, which denotes that he's part of the Rebel commando squad. The new Rebel troops have no bandolier and no soft backpack. There's more long coats in the commandos, which is interesting. It's a little bit less variation per squad, but they're making it easier to discern which squad they are. Because I guess if I want to use this Rebel model from the first edition, it would actually go into the Rebel Commando squad. Doesn't have a bandolier, but still has this backpack. So yeah, there's the differences in them trying to make all of the one squads sort of have the same uniform. So here's the downside of having the new heads. The new heads are pretty much, you got a male head and a female head, whereas the old, and like that's the one male head you get. The old Rebels, the male heads some male heads had mustaches, some had beards. Let's see, he has a mustache and a goatee. He has unless that's a goatee. I don't know mustaches, but he also has a beard. So you can't unless you take the heads off of here, you can't really have bearded rebels in the new models. So I'm also selling, these are the models that I am selling. So once these sell, then, well, if there's Empire side sells, and I finish up all of my Rebel side, once that sells, I'm going to be getting more of the newer boxes. And then I might pick up another box of the old first edition stuff. Because the first edition commandos I actually really like. I think they look a little bit better than the new commandos. Well, design-wise they look better. Because here's the sergeant for the first edition commandos. Like, they can both work. But this actually allows for variation if you pick up one box of the new commandos and one of the old. Like, they even have this alien guy. A lot of the old commandos have cloaks or these sort of ponchos. I think they all have this backpacks also. Like, they have the Mon Calamari guy with the actual fin arms. Like, these are the demolition charges. These are the two models for the demolition charge. And then where's the sniper? Here's the models for the sniper. So I think, yeah, I will I will pick up another box of these the old Commandos just because they are different and I do like their design. Yeah, all in all, these are really nice models. I just wish there were it had a bit more alien heads. Or at least, like, swapped out the Mon Calamari heads with something else. And then maybe had a little upgrade thing for Mon Calamari rebels. Hell, maybe Bothans. Maybe instead of Mon Calamari, you could have had a Bothan head. Oh, shit. Oh, well. I lost that head. Oh, what else? There's the new Wookiees. So a box of new Wookiees comes with 6 models. So there's 3 models that go into like the base squad, and then there's 1 heavy weapon. You can upgrade it with 1 heavy weapon, so it's either the bowgun, the crossbow, some sort of shield, and then a long gun. And where's the... Oh. I did start doing a little bit of painting with the older first edition Wookiees. So with these bodies, you can either have them with the gun or with their 2 swords. So like this guy, this heavy weapon has 2 swords on his back. So when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, okay, sweet. I can keep my first edition Wookiees because they actually look different. I don't think they're as good of a model as, like, again, these are just better quality, but they will look different, so I can keep them. Like, and the old one only came with 4 Wookiees, whereas the new ones will come with the 2 extra of heavy weapons. And then I don't have the old Luke model because that's out over near my airbrushing station, because I was varnishing it. But yeah, this is the new one. This is Luke when he's wearing his at the end of A New Hope, when he's wearing his like celebration attire. Whereas the old Luke from the starter box was Luke when he's on Bespin. This is a pretty nice model. Okay, well, finished building all my rebels. Did a little bit of comparison between the first edition and second edition Rebel Troops and Rebel Troops, Rebels Commandos, and the Wookiees. I think I'm gonna head out now. Hope everyone has a good day, and I'll see you later. I'll try to stream some more when painting. I think it might be a little bit because the only thing I have left to paint are the first edition Hoth Troopers, first edition commandos, and then 2 squads of the first edition rebels. Oh, here's... that's not the one that I'm keeping, but this is... yeah. I did kind of mess up painting his face. So it kind of looks not like Luke. I do like the both models are pretty good though. I got two versions of Luke. Okay, well, everyone, see you later. Goodbye.